giving up. Why do we do it? Maybe because we've lost interest. Maybe because it's too hard. Maybe because we physically can't. Nah, I'm not gonna bore you with these dumb speeches of never giving up or keep grinding. You've heard it a million times. Instead, I'm gonna tell you my story. A one of how one man made sure that I would never give up. And hopefully, he'll help you guys too.
I'm on a losing streak, bro. What the fuck do I do? Uninstall.
For those of you who don't know who this is, let me introduce you to Sinatraa, an ex-Overwatch world champion, current Valorant pro player. He's known in the Valorant community for his crazy phantom plays and toxic rages. Prior to me knowing who he was, I saw this. I was Silver 1 at the time and was on a 4-game losing streak. Hearing him tell someone to uninstall and laughing about it made me incredibly angry. And for the next 3 or 4 days, I just refused to play the game. So I decided, fuck it, I'm gonna prove this guy wrong. Yeah, we're doing this shit.
Spike down mid. One enemy remaining. Spike down A. One enemy remaining. Oh
my goal was simple. 10 days left in the act, reach Silver 3, and then my journey up the ladder would begin. On the first day, I had no idea what I was doing, so I decided I was going to go onto YouTube, see if there was anyone who could help me out. And let's just say...
Wait, don't give up and don't ever surrender. Alright guys, well that's it for today. Be sure to check out the link in the description.
Well, that was fucking useless. Eventually, I came across aim labs. At the time, I found myself missing most of my shots, and blamed my aim in most situations. So I began to practice. I found myself slowly getting into a routine of 10 games of grid shot, then 2 DMs, before playing ranked. In the beginning this worked, and I slowly climbed the ranks. I found myself at Silver 3 with 4 days left in the act. I also had vastly superior aim to everyone around me, until I hit Gold 1. For those of you who don't know, people between Silver 3 and Gold 1 are just barely above average, but I found myself struggling, finishing the act with only 1 win in Gold 1. I'd hit my goal, but I still felt like I was failing. The first 4 days of the act I didn't play, until I saw this video.
Your teammates are always gonna be garbage. Grind unrated with the boys, man. I play unrated a good fucking 3 hours a day, just vibing, going for clips for my montages and shit. And then just fucking, I go comp when I feel like I can actually pop off and hit my shots. And free, you guys just need to use your brain.
At first I thought the same thing when I heard Sinatraa for the first time. Another high-ranked player telling me to shut the fuck up and get good. But after taking the time to listen, I understood he was like me, except he had learned from his mistakes and was able to climb. So I took to heart what he had said, and I began to grind. I fell out of my aim lab routine like he said, and instead chilled in unrated until I felt comfortable enough to play ranked, and instead of blaming my aim, I began to think about different ways I could have played the round. Within 3 games I was out of silver, and within 5 more out of Gold 1. Instead of listening to the same aim at the hood bullshit, I instead looked at my communication and began to work with my team, listened to their ideas and assisted when I could. I wasn't the best player, but I was still able to help them in winning, even acing a couple of rounds now and then. This is when I realized my goal for this video. I wanted to reach platinum, but I didn't want to make it out of spite. Instead, I wanted to share my opinion with those who were in the same boat as me. So for the first time, I actually tuned into one of Sinatra's streams.
How about you shut your fucking mouth and get fucking kills next time?
Sorry, sir.
Use your fucking gun and aim correctly, you fucking ugly ass piece of shit. How about that?
Okay, maybe he's not my kind of streamer. I began watching streamers with similar playstyles to me, like Sick and Zombs, and watched VOD reviews with players like dragonmar and merkedtv, so I could better understand the plays that were occurring around me. I eventually found myself in Gold 3, and by the end of the act on the cusp of platinum, before a long win streak that took me from Gold into the middle of Plat 2. This isn't a video I have made to try and show off, but instead to give those few hopefuls in the lower elos a chance to find what they're looking for. And in the second part of this video, I want to show some tips for getting out of the lower elos. First of all, understand that your rank is meaningless. All it is a way of placing you against players of similar skill level. Notice how I said similar. That's because the ranking system isn't perfect, nor is it perfect in any other game. This is because yes, you might be able to one-tap an entire lobby of people in DM, but you need to understand that your 11 and 14 Sage won't be hitting those shots, not because she's bad, but instead because it's not her job. Her role in the team is holding a site and providing support. Same goes for the battle sages out there. Don't run through the enemy spawn healing yourself as you go, then get triggered when your site anchor Omen doesn't follow you. If you want the heals and to play aggressive, play an agent like Reyna. The first step to climbing the ranks is understanding your role in a team. For a duelist like Reyna, it's entering the site, getting early kills and securing the site for a team. For a controller like Astra, it's smoking the angles like CT and Canteen on Fracture to make your duelist job of entering easier. Each player in the team assists the next. Astra smokes Reyna into the site, who creates space for the Sage to plant. The Sky flashes and gathers info for the chamber to peek. If everyone works in unison, taking the site should be the easiest part of a round. Next, understand that kills mean nothing if your team is dead. The most important kills of the round are the first and second. If you're playing Jet and are 15 and 11, while your team has nowhere close to as many kills, it does not mean you're better. Especially with duelists, look how many first bloods you have. If it's not the highest on your team, you've probably failed your job. If you're playing Sky and have the least assists and close to the least kills, you have done your job wrong also. Understand what stats correlate to your job and make sure you're the best on your team when it comes to them. Next, understand rotations and outplaying the other team. Really, it's only okay to fast rotate on defense if you've spotted 3 or more players on a site and they're rushing. And even then, you should keep an agent like Killjoy or Cypher on the other side just to make sure that it's safe. For the first 3 rounds, you should learn the playstyles of your opponents. If you know there are a bunch of 8s who rush site every round, then you know exactly what plays they're going to make, and you can make informed decisions. And when I say outplaying, I don't mean the sick outplays and big brain moves of Hiko. I mean, if you find it hard playing against an enemy Killjoy, find where she plays most rounds and push the opposite side. When she switches, you switch. Play what you find easiest and what your opponents find hardest. As I said earlier, don't queue unless you know you're playing well. And find a duo. It's much better than playing with the randoms you're placed with. If you're finding it hard to find teammates, you can just look for the good players in your games and queue with them. And for those of you who are struggling to find those good players, you can find good players by finding a Discord community. I've left some in the comments if you're curious. Over the course of my climb, there is one player that has helped me exponentially, and that's C9's keeoh. This is because of his devil-may-care attitude to the game. In other words, just have fun and don't let toxic teammates destroy your mental. Stay positive even if you're losing. If you pay attention to the games where you're winning, most of the time you're having fun and not caring for the distractions around you. If you want to come back, you can't dwell on the past rounds. Instead, look forward to the ones you're going to win. Finally, giving up. Never give up. It's the theme of this video. If there's anything I want you to take away from it, is that you should never give up. Always strive to be the best. Whether you're losing 12-7 in a game of Valorant, or stressing for a test in school, never lose hope. Speaking of a test, I have one tomorrow, so I'm gonna go to sleep. Hopefully I've helped you. I've been Solar, and you've been lovely. So for now, good night. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed and want to see your name featured in the next video, make sure to like and subscribe. This is my first video using my voice. I'm hoping that you enjoyed it. Special shout out to everyone who subscribed to me before this video, but I'm hoping I can see more of you, and I'm hoping to make more videos like this. If there's any games in particular that you would like me to play, I'd be more than happy. Also, if you have any questions about Valorant, feel free to ask them in the comments. I'm thinking of making a follow-up video to this, where I answer some comments. So until then, see ya.